This is Alan with Tune Arm in Baltimore. A gooner and a toffee walk into a bar. Decided to do a shit football podcast.
Don't fucking listen, bro.
To the DU football show.
Don't fucking listen, man.
Hey, if we were a shit football podcast, why the fuck did he invite us to his bar for
exactly.
his game? You know?
No shit.
It's all fun and games now because
they won.
They won. Imagine if they had lost. I don't think we would have gotten out there alive.
I would have loved it.
We would have been dead. Let's start the show.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston?
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Snub of my lord. Looks great in shorts. Sam Graham, hey.
Sam Graham.
Fucking United! Fucking United!
Hello and welcome to the DU Football Show, a completely biased recap of the English Premier League as told by two common American schmucks. I'm your host, Sam Houston, and across the way from me, leaving his vape in his child's bed, trying to raise her to be a Wigan supporter, my co-host, Mr. Sammy McGrath. Sammy, how you doing, brother?
Doing very well, thank you. As you know, our family's of Irish descent, and very familiar with the Black Lung.
Yeah,
much like that young Wigan supporter is about to find out.
Clearly, and of course on the ones and twos, we have producer Mel, who has yet to unmute herself to say hello.
I was just going for some good audio.
Oh, okay, well, hey, how about that? Produce me something. Good job.
Trying to produce your good audio since my voice is, I don't know, my voice is not much here.
Mine's being really weird today, too.
Well,
Occasionally, today, like, I'll just say something and it sounds like I'm about to cry.
Oh, well, it's
weird. Huh?
What?
We're recording at the DU Public House just outside the nation's capital. You can find us wherever you get your pods and, of course, streaming live every single Monday night. Should you want to chat with us, there are as many ways that you can. Mr. Graham, tell the good people how they can get in touch.
Absolutely. As always, it is at DU Football Show on all the social medias and dufootballshow@gmail.com to get in touch via email.
Or, as I always say, you can just drive your happy ass over here, as the case of our guest tonight. And we got to make sure we unmute him, too, as we're doing all this. See, look at that. Two things at one time. It's like she can pat her belly and rub her head, or rub her belly and pat her head. However it is she needs to do, she can do it. Mr. Geckel, how are you doing, sir?
I'm wonderful. Thanks for having me over. It was nice to see you guys at the Abbey this Saturday.
It was nice to see you at the Abbey. We actually had a job to do. You just were up early for fuck all reason.
And
you have two very large dogs, don't you?
I don't this week. That's why I'm here.
Yep, that's exactly how that works out. It's no responsibility. Wife's away. Dogs are away. He's like,
Oh, did she take the dogs with her?
They're at her parents' house.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah. I would, if I were you, I wouldn't even go home tonight. I'd be right at the casino.
yeah. Hey,
fucking yeah.
Not even trusted to watch the dogs.
I'm getting a break. I am trusted to watch the dogs.
I was just still amazed by the whole point that after the game was over, he was like, let's go to Fells. Let's drink.
Yeah.
Come on. It's 10 o'clock in the morning. Let's fucking party, man.
It's time I got 2 Guinness down me. It's time to go.
Let's go.
That's a very me thing to do.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
I'm surprised you didn't go running off with him.
The third kid actually made me responsible.
So I guess that's not you anymore.
I mean, it still is. I just did it at home where I could hold one of them for her.
Sam and myself both work in the wine and spirit industry and both have a deep passion and love for all things distilled spirit. So as the red-blooded Americans we are, we've got to have a drink in our hand throughout this show. And every single show, somebody fucked up and grabbed the wrong number 16. So the right number 16 is in the mail.
Yes.
So we're going to jump ahead to number 15, Mr. Graham. What are we drinking tonight?
Number 15 is the Old Elk Port Cask Finish. This one is a barrel strength 108.1 proof. Should run you around $100. And the panel rated it a 94. Somehow, looking ahead, it finished at number 15 with a 94 rating, but number 14 is only rated a 93. Interesting.
Somebody
Very
splashed the
interesting.
cash.
Okay. No, they didn't, because my incentives have dried up. I'll tell you that.
Well, maybe that's why, because that company decided to put
No,
all the
that's
money
true,
for
yeah.
getting that little extra spot. They went, you know what, Mr. Graham, you don't get the cash for a 3K
Yeah.
stack. we're going to go ahead and make sure we go from number 15 to number 14.
Exactly. So, all right. So we've got Old Elk, like I said, and Julia Higgins is the member of the tasting panel for Whisky Advocate that brings you your blurb this week. And she writes, a high malt bourbon that's part of Colorado whiskey maker Old Elk's cask finish series. This dram kicks off with sugared grapefruit. I get that. Fruit roll-ups, not so sure. Cherry cola, yes. And vanilla bean creme brulee. The palate is redolent with spice and fruit, practically oozing with red berry compote. Yep. Cinnamon, cocoa powder, and a bit of nuttiness. I do on the finish get a lot of that kind of almond kind of finish to it. That's delicious. Add water, and those chocolate and cinnamon notes become even more vibrant. On the finish, there's candied sweetness and more spice, both also expanding delightfully with a dash of water.
My first, I know I've had a few sips of Old Elk, but I really haven't
Drank Old Elk yet.
This is bloody fucking delightful.
I like it a lot.
The ice has really opened it up a lot.
Yeah, big time.
It is really fucking good. Really fucking good.
What I was going to say is one of our close friends, one of the stores I call on, All of You Liquors, Justin, isn't a huge fan of the Old Elk stuff. Because when I asked him about it, he was surprised that they got on the shelf, and this was one that he did not carry.
Yeah.
And I only found one SKU of Old Elk in his store at all. And I think this is actually quite approachable. Does not drink like it's 108 proof.
No.
It's excellent. But I also am a huge fan of port and sherry cask things. And this being a port cask finish, that chocolate, that baking spice is very prevalent, and then finishing with that nuttiness. I mean, one of the best things you can have is a glass of port or sherry and a bowl of almonds with your cigar after dinner. It's just phenomenal. And this tickles my fancy in every way possible.
Blue cheese and port for me.
Oh, blue cheese and port is very good. That's the only way I can eat blue cheese.
Right.
Ben showed me that at Mount Airy.
Yeah. So I've seen a lot of Old Elk on the shelf. We actually had to get one of my stores to order the port because I could not find the port anywhere. Like, I went to the 5 stores that I knew carried multiple SKUs of Old Elk. None of them had the port finish. Now,
consider this a copyrighted idea. Elk on the Shelf is a huge holiday campaign that this company missed. That for $40,000, I will sell you the rights to that idea.
Yeah, the DU
Old Elk,
DU football show.
If you're listening, if you're listening,
merchandising. Spaceballs,
freelance,
Spaceballs, the flamethrower.
Be a freelance marketing consultant.
Yeah, no shit. The one issue I've had with Old Elk and why I haven't gone and bought it off the shelf yet is the same kind of issue I have with Barrel. Like,
very expensive.
Well, and all the bottles look the same, and they at least say what the finishes are. But it seems like a lot of SKUs, like a lot of fucking SKUs. And for me, it's, kind of do what you do it well, right? And with this, I will say I will definitely try more Old Elk, and I think where you were talking about Portwood, I've had a few bourbons with Portwood before. It hasn't worked because the port is just a little too sweet with the
overall sweetness of the whiskey. Yeah.
Going high malt, which means malted barley,
is massive. And
lends yourself to more of that kind of Scottish whiskey, which is all malted barley, and that plays very well together.
It cuts down the sweetness of the corn in the initial liquid.
Yeah, it's bloody delightful.
I'm actually quite impressed after some of the reviews I had heard of standard Old Elk, of the standard Old Elk line in general. I'm actually quite pleasantly surprised by this.
This is one I would say if you see it on the shelf, just go ahead and buy it, guys. Like, it's worth the price of admission. It really is. So,
Geck, what do you think about this one?
I thought it almost tasted like a rye. It had I really got that spiciness that reminded me of a rye. And like you said, the cube really opened it up. And it doesn't drink like 108 proof?
Yeah, 108. Yeah, no, it absolutely does. I wouldn't put it a drop a percent over 90.
Yeah. I mean, it was good neat. It was very good neat, and I was already impressed with it when it was neat. But on ice,
it seemed pretty one dimensional though. Neat.
Yeah.
Where that water, that little bit of water, just opened it up tremendously. I mean, the amount of spice I get off of it now is tenfold compared to what it was neat.
I could get in trouble with this bottle.
Yeah.
With a couple of just a tray of big ice cubes sitting in the freezer and this bottle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be done in a night. That could definitely happen in a night.
Yeah.
All right. What else should we always do? Which is not what I just said I would do with this bottle.
Always remember to drink responsibly,
Of
everybody.
course, kids.
That's
There we
cute.
go.
Y'all hit fingers. Wow.
I was trying to get
Y'all
it close
cross
to the
streams?
mic while I was cheering.
Y'all cross
That's
streams
not
when you pee
professional.
too?
Yeah, we do. Yeah,
I
we
mean,
do.
always.
Sword fight.
Saves water. It saves water.
I want to be Han Solo this time.
We open with one of the biggest rivalries in English football. That's been on an 8-year hiatus. The Tyne-Wear Derby.
Yes.
Newcastle 3, Sunderland 0. First and foremost, thank you very much to the Abbey in Mount Washington for letting us come in, set all up all our stuff, and of course, the Toon Army of Baltimore, the Mobtown Magpies. Thank you very much
The
for having
Mobtown
us.
Pika Pikas.
That's right, Pika Pika. Alan, thank you for setting everything up. It was a pleasure to come out. Great to meet everybody. Great to be there for a W, because quite frankly, that room was tense.
Oh, yeah.
Very tense until there was a goal.
Honestly, it was so tense that for the first segment, no one even knew that we were there.
They were just
and
like,
you
leave us
know what
alone.
what I will do is I want to, you didn't want to bring this part to the main show. We talked about that in the pre-production meeting. I am going to bring it to the main show because the amount of skill and discipline it took to ignore two charming motherfuckers like us needs to be acknowledged. And not necessarily celebrated, but you know what? Well done and mad respect.
Yeah, but I did love everybody. Not just everybody. Of course, it was dressed up in their kits and everything, but like one family came in. The mom had on the flag around her shoulders, and then like the Popal hat as well. And Papal hat.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking atheist.
I know.
You're the one. You're
I'm
the
trying
Catholic.
to help you out here, so God
It's
looks
not-
favorably on your soul.
No, you're not helping me at all. I don't care. I guess I'm.
Listen, in case one of them stents fail, I need you to be okay with the Lord, because I'm not chasing you down to hell. I'll tell you that.
No, it's
I'm going to the river of whiskey.
No, it's like the movie Eric the Viking when the priest is in Valhalla and everybody's like talking about everything. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see anything here. What are you talking about? That would be me. But also, of course, one gentleman, this was fucking fantastic. Brought in a
lady
tool.
of the plastic.
a tool of yore. The police actually have a song.
mean a blow-up
about,
doll?
Yes. The police have an old song about a blow-up doll that's fucking fantastic.
Nice.
And brought it in and had it donned in a Sunderland kit, and her name was Magnus Neverprem. It was.
That's pretty good.
Swear to God, that's not the name he told me first. That's not the name I reported in the chats, and I was like, Never Cream. All right, that makes sense.
I didn't ask the
Everybody
question.
drank a lot of alcohol that morning.
A Newcastle fan had to buy a Sunderland shirt.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, sure, Billy, you're watching in the chats. How did you get the Sunderland shirt?
I mean, everybody has
It's
to
like
buy
when
toilet
Kid
roll
Rock
from time to
bought the
time,
Bud
right?
Light to shoot it with the gun.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, everybody's got to buy toilet roll from time to time, right?
Right, precisely.
That's how it goes.
Uh,
But you know it's fun. What I love about the cup, right?
Mm-hmm.
What I really love is the FA Cup brings out all these very weird,
eBay, $20.
so it was a knockoff at that.
Somebody already had bought it. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. You know what he did? I'm sure it was a Chinese knockoff that he planned this from like November then. So,
Yep.
this is gonna come in handy one day.
One day.
I'm
6
hoping
years ago.
you're making assumptions that I'm not willing to make, because I just assumed he just had it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he says no, it was new and it's real.
There we go.
But like Maidstone, which we'll come on to, obviously there was a pitch invasion at the end of their game.
Mm-hmm. Just save
Dude
it.
dressed as a banana.
I was gonna say save it till we talk
Well,
about
I'm just
it.
saying, like, the cup brings out all these weird ass fucking, like,
Yeah,
why?
just
What's the point?
why?
Yeah, it's just great. I love it. Like, I would never in a million years, you know what? Blow up doll, Rivals jersey on it. Never think of that.
Hey, what was it with Bournemouth a few years ago? Everybody sitting out on the back porches, drinking a glass of rosé.
That was Chorley, wasn't it?
No. This was Bournemouth because it was
when Spurs went up to play him.
No, that was Bournemouth that they played. Chorley played Derby County, and then they played Wolves. And lost
you're
to
right,
Wolves.
you're right.
So it was Bournemouth.
Yeah.
But just somebody sitting there on their back patio, drinking a glass of rosé, cut out of your good glove. Why? Don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I fucking love it. It's just like, what is happening right now?
Why not? Sutton United backup goalkeeper eating a pie at halftime.
Well, he got banned for that.
We
remember?
know this.
Yeah,
Yep.
remember. That was nefarious, that one.
Sky Bet's got to get theirs.
Now, here's the thing. Let's focus a little bit more on the match. It was not just tense in the bar. It was tense on the pitch. There was no doubt about it. People don't understand that this is right up there. This is one of the five biggest fucking derbies in
the UK, period.
In the UK, period. These teams, these cities, fucking hate each other. They really do. And Sunderland, because they're in the championship and need to have people there was 6,000 Newcastle supporters there for that match. I mean, it was fucking insanity, but you could tell on the field it was cagey, very cagey. And Newcastle came to play. The pressure, they had all the pressure on Sunderland from the get-go. And
Longstaff had two chances, like within the first 5-6 minutes or whatever it was.
And again, you could tell in the room, everybody's just like, "Fuck, we're not going to score." It would
have been nice. It would have been nice for Longstaff to get it, being a local lad as well, for Newcastle coming through their academy and all that kind of stuff. That would have been a very cool moment,
right.
To be able to see that. But I never got the sense that Sunderland were ever in the game, really. Part of that was because I didn't know who had the fucking ball, because somebody sanctioned both teams able to wear their stripes. Yeah. And that didn't come through on the TV very well.
Nope.
So for the first 15 minutes, I'm like, well, somebody
just a bunch of stripes.
One of them's got it.
The ball.
Yeah. I was like, I don't really know what's happening here.
Yeah, funny enough, and of course Newcastle will take the goal however it happens. Ends up being an own goal right near the end of the first half.
Talk about a bad day at the office.
Yeah.
This guy, I can't remember his name now off the top of my head for whatever reason. Dan Ballard. That's right, because I heard the joke today. It was the Ballard of the Mackies or whatever they call them themselves up there. That was a dig.
Yes, that was a dig.
But they bad day at the office for Dan Ballard. He ends up having the own goal, obviously. Before that, got let off the hook, got lucky with a drag down of Isaac, which should have been a penalty, in my opinion.
God. Well, of course, no VAR because it was in a championship stadium.
Exactly.
It wouldn't have just not been a penalty. It probably would have been a sending off because he flat out grabbed him and pulled him to the ground.
And I didn't really see a motion made towards the ball at all. So double jeopardy wouldn't have come into play because he didn't attempt to make a play on the ball.
It was absolutely last defender.
100%. So that happens. He gets let off the hook. Fine, whatever. I will not stop saying it. I know it's annoying, but I'm not going to stop saying it. There should be no VAR in the tournament or the League Cup, period. End of fucking story. Until at least the final or semifinals, because they're all at Wembley now.
Right.
Which is also bullshit. The semifinals should be either a two-legged affair or at a neutral ground.
Yeah.
The Wembley showpiece should be the final.
Right.
That should be the final.
Right. That should be the big deal.
Right. Getting there is the point.
Mm-hmm. That's how all the playoffs work.
Right.
Is you play to get to the final. That is at fucking Wembley.
Exactly. That's the showpiece. Anyway, the reason I say that is because, for instance, in Everton and Crystal Palace, VAR was used, in my opinion. Well, for now, my opinion may change in the next 5 minutes.
Well, just because you want to fuck with me.
Was used ineffectively, to say the least. And then in this game, didn't have it to be used effectively in the first place. So we had two games happening at the same time that were not at the same time. Everton was on Thursday. But my point is they played the same competition under a different set of fucking rules and a different set of fucking circumstances. And that's not okay. That completely undermines the integrity of the competition, in my opinion. So I will not stop saying that until it fucking changes, because it's absolute bollocks in my opinion. The FA should either fucking pay for every stadium in the country to have VAR capabilities, or we don't fucking use it.
Don't have VAR for the
Right.
for the cup competitions.
For the cup
Just
competitions,
don't.
period. If you have lower league teams involved in any capacity at that, no VAR.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah.
It's fucked, in my
And
opinion.
you brought up a good point while we were there at the bar, that it almost felt like, because it was a Premier League ref reffing that match,
He didn't know what to do with his hands.
that he just he just sat there and waited, because he's used to, I don't have to.
Yeah. It's like that picture with Ricky Bobby.
Yeah.
And he just
But with that in mind, it was almost like he was waiting for the eye in the sky to make the call for him. Well, no, you got to still be a fucking official.
you have to be the ref now again.
You are the fucking ref.
It
That's
can't
your
be
job.
re-officiated. Yeah. It's fucking stupid.
Call the game, and if you have because this is also a greater issue with the Prem as a whole right now, is call the fucking game, and if you made an egregious mistake, then the camera is there to tell you, hey, I think you got that one wrong.
Or just
But
be
still make the call.
or
Make
just-
the fucking call.
Yeah, or just be as confident as the guy at Cardiff City and Sheffield Wednesday. There was no hesitation. Both times, the attacking player that got fouled, that went down, he didn't even hit the deck yet. Referee's already whistling his hand, pointing at the spot.
So obviously Newcastle get the goal. They go up 1-0. You could already tell a little bit of relief.
Oh,
from-
you could feel the tension in the room kind of dissipate a bit.
But even Newcastle on the pitch seemed, because they came right out to start the second half, and again another Sunderland mistake. Midfielder loses the ball inside the 18. Boom. What do you know? 5 minutes in, 2-0.
Yeah, it didn't take long. Obviously, for that second goal to go in, and you almost got the feeling it was one of those that was like Sunderland had a couple of chances. Dubravka was forced into one or two saves. I think they clipped the bar at one point in the game, but the chances were so spread out because Newcastle had dominated the ball for the most part. Sunderland did make it a little difficult to play through the lines, but they really never made it, past 10 yards into the Newcastle half.
Right.
So it wasn't really threatening when they did get the ball for the most part.
It was disappointing, to be honest. You've got your rival who you've been played in 8 years, and you're at home, and they didn't have much of a sniff. Barely had the ball.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they forced Dubravka into one or two pretty decent saves.
Yeah.
But they didn't give a good account of themselves. I mean, this isn't the Sunderland we've seen in the championship all season.
Right.
And you would know better than I. You watch the championship a lot more closely.
They're
But
in and around the playoff discussion. They were in and around the playoff discussion last year. So it's like, you thought they would have shown something.
Newcastle spent some money, but they're injured. They're dead tired. And they really haven't spent as much money as the PIF posse would have been able to spend under previous financial regulations. So they were facing in terms of super club standards, a relatively mediocre side. You look at what City did over what they're in trouble for now.
Yeah.
But you look at what they did over the first 2-3 years of that money coming in versus what Newcastle's been able to do over the last 18 months. And it's two totally different sets of circumstances. I mean,
absolutely.
Dan Byrne is still getting games. Don't forget. Like that wouldn't be the case.
So infamous Short Belly, by the way, he's your biggest fan right now. He thinks you're a goddamn genius.
Thank you. Is that sarcastic?
No.
great.
He said Graham's a goddamn genius. He's going to be a general someday. I said his ego needs no help. He's happy to hear a pundit with common sense. He pointed out that they tried to play out of the back like a league match. They played more not to lose versus try to win and might get a bit low risk.
Yeah. I mean,
agreed.
absolutely they did. But you could tell Newcastle had their kind of wind in their sails a bit, and they were up for it. They were ready to go. Also, I'm sure helped by the fact that the Sunderland ownership transformed the Black Cat Suite into a Newcastle-only supporters area at 600 pounds a head.
Yeah. Just idiotic.
Yeah, I mean, it's such like little brother stuff, but all of it plays into the psyche and the emotion of what's surrounding the club and what's happening, and it's just utterly, kind of ridiculous. Sunderland they're obviously in bad straits the last few seasons, but they are a proud institution. I mean, but what makes these two clubs such bitter rivals is the similarities between them. Neglected in the north as a whole, right? One club towns. Yeah. They're only situated with 15 minutes apart, 18 minutes apart, something like that by car. Both working class towns. So a lot of what defines them is the essence of football in general, right?
At its core.
At its core. And that's what makes it such a special rivalry. And for Sunderland to now, it could be Elaine's distant cousin just not understanding since he's French, just not understanding what's going on here. Elaine from Seinfeld. Yeah. Okay. He's a Louis Dreyfus guy.
He likes to make Seinfeld references.
That's a show I haven't watched. I've watched episodes, but it's not like The Simpsons. If you did a Simpsons reference, I'd
well, Julia Louis Dreyfus wasn't on that show, Gecko.
I know she was on Seinfeld. I know.
Do your fucking research, mate. Don't listen to the animated media. Do your own research, bro. Okay.
Right near the end, they get the penalty. Isaac ends up getting the brace. Huge sense of relief for everybody. I even said to Alan at that point, I go, "Can you fucking smile now? You're gonna win the match." And he goes, "Yeah, we are gonna win the match."
Angrily, he said, "Yes, I can smile." Look,
what a fucking monkey off the back for Newcastle. Because
Absolutely.
Here's the thing that we talked about how big of a rivalry this is. The last time they played, they drew 1-1. Before that, they lost 6 in a fucking row to Sunderland.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, so the only time, and I said this to you while we were at the bar, and it's because I don't particularly care for him in general, and I'm sure you'll get on my side with this. The only time I've ever actually been happy, because it's not I like watching it. I'm completely neutral. Don't really give a shit. The only time I've ever been happy to see Newcastle lose was when Big Sam was in charge. I think Big Sam was in charge, and it was like 3 managers in a row. Their first or second game was a Tyne-Wear Derby, and just to see his big fat face fucking sad on the sidelines, angry at the end of it, I fucking loved it. That's the only time I actually properly got behind Sunderland, is just because I just didn't care for Big Sam.
Right, because you just hated Big Sam that much.
Yeah,
but feelings mutual about that Big Sam, not me, Big Sam. I like me, you like me, we all like me.
Yeah,
I'm a big fan of one Big Sam and not so big a fan of the other.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, we'll wait till the closing statements and we'll find out.
So, Mr. Graham, you used to live in Baltimore.
Yeah.
Got to tell you right now, I got this new pack from Stringer. It's this Maidstone shit, and I put it right there, baby. Yeah. Right fucking there.
Oh, yeah.
The Stone, 1-0 at the Gallagher Stadium over Stevenage, baby. How about that shit?
It's fucking, it cost me a lot of money, but it was awesome.
Fucking
cost me a shit ton of money, but it was
bananas
great.
already on the pitch, people sitting in the trees. Fucking, it had everything right there. Right there.
It's everything that you want. It was one of those. Anyone that listens overseas might not be terribly familiar with these particular commercials, but anyone here, especially those two that live in the Midwest, will be very familiar with those commercials of the pop-up sheds that you can build out of aluminum and Q-tips or whatever, and hot glue, whatever they build. That's what the changing room setup looked like.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
Then it had like a burnt wood sign that they got made down the DIY shop that said like the maid's corner or something like that, which is like for their sweet section or whatever where the bar was.
Fucking brilliant.
The players made it because it's probably a woodworker of some kind.
Yeah, well, you're 100% right. They probably, and then donated it to the club for, can I get an extra 50p on my wages this week, sir?
The 6th tier of English football, non-professional, taking on a League One side. So this would be like a League Two side beating a Premier League side. Big fucking deal.
Big deal. 60, you know what else I got behind here? And I'm a fan of it. 69 places separated them in the Football League. In the pyramid structure. Draw a heart around it, bitches.
Draw a heart. It ended up being Captain Sam Corn who buried the penalty at the end of the first half.
It's everything you want.
Oh, well, also because
Oh, shit,
earlier...
who's gonna do it? Dad, we're playing fucking Stevenage. Who's gonna do it?
Yeah, captain.
I'm the
got this
captain.
shit.
I got it.
He's got
Fucking-
tissue in his nose.
Look at me.
Yeah.
Look at me. Look at
Bloody.
me. I'm the captain now.
Fucking rag shoved up his nose because he's got a bloody nose. Fucking
And they also don't have a proper physio department. Just some bloke from an ambulance. They paid 50 quid to come.
like 15 minutes prior, there was absolutely, again, if there was VAR in that stadium, there was absolutely a Stevenage player who just turned his back to the corner kick, looked at the guy in front of him, wrapped his arms around him, and hugged him to the ground.
Yeah.
And no call. And then finally, like, there's a foul. The ref allows them to play on, and then there's another foul, which ends up being what gets called for the
And a
penalty.
worse one than the first
I
one.
better call that one.
Yeah.
Not just that, Sam Corn also knocks one off the goal line as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ball
He's everywhere.
Ball off the post at the end of the match. The fucking Lucas goddamn Kovalon. The fucking wall of defense.
The goalkeeper.
The one
Phenomenal.
on one fast break
Oh, yeah,
that
it was huge.
dead to rights and just didn't go down, stayed big, and then just got the arm up and knocked the ball
So
away.
The amazing thing about this, and you'll see this a lot too with these kind of ties that are so vast, especially when they're at the lower leagues ground, right? Artificial pitch. So artificial turf. No professional players used to that, right? In England, it's actually I believe banned in the top 4 leagues in England
I believe so.
completely. Not something they run into all the time. A lot of extra injuries are picked up on artificial pitches. That kind of stuff. Stevenage, you could tell, like, wasn't prepared for the way the ball was bouncing. They weren't prepared for a lot of those kind of things, right? And it is different. The ball reacts differently on those fields. Is it enough to lose 1-0 to Maidstone? Probably not. But you get these performances where people stand on their head, and their goalkeeper was absolutely one of them. And there was an absolute fucking barrage in the second half from Stevenage. And it just wasn't their day. And it was the Stones' day. And, they showed their huevos. They showed their goal and their determination, and they got there in the end.
Final whistle gets blown. Fans rush the field. Like
Banana.
It's the banana,
Banana rushes the field.
running around.
It's just brilliant.
The magic of the cup truly is.
I mean, absolutely. I mean, but what I did fail to mention is the Willicopter from a Newcastle fan a couple years ago.
Yeah,
when
God,
they
yes.
finally advanced past the first round, or the third round rather, the first that they were involved in for
Yep.
like 15 years, and the Willicopter on at the top of the stairs and the stand behind the goal. You get all this weird shit, and I absolutely fucking just put it in my veins, man.
Yeah,
That's what I want. I want to see this because you're watching, like, oh, good for them. Wow, man, I lost my bet, but I don't really care. Like, this is great. Good for the Stone. And then, wait a minute, was that a banana?
This was also like a 20-leg parlay, so it was bound to lose eventually.
Only lost 2 legs that whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
But the Stone was the first
So
one.
it's the other one that fucked it.
No, the Stone fucked it first. It was already dead by the time the other one kicked off.
The next up for the Stone, they head to Ipswich, so will be a bit of a payday for them.
Yeah,
Going to a championship,
a little
so
bit of a payday.
Not
yeah.
like it pulling a Premier League side, which
Right.
is what you kind of hoped that they would have
But
gotten.
also, I would say a potentially winnable game.
Ipswich has looked pretty decent though this
I
year.
know, but by the time that kicks off, you got to think Leeds is hot on the heels of number 2.
Yeah, so
potentially.
Southampton as well.
They're still some distance away, but there is time to catch up. As we know, there are 4,315 championship fixtures left this season.
Absolutely.
So there is the ground is there to be made up, let's say. And when you come to mid-February or whatever it is, when the fourth round kicks off, Ipswich may have their attentions elsewhere and not really fucking care.
Yeah, don't
If
disagree.
that lead has shrunk to like 3 points, you know what I'm saying? I mean, Ipswich went, fuck this, we got to focus on the league, don't care. And Maidstone could have a chance.
I know this much. On Sunday, many a fireplace were thrown up in.
Especially the one in Fells Point where Geck was.
I think can that.
Yeah. So it is time to chat about the rest of the Prem sides and how they fared in the Cup. We're just going to kind of talk about I'm not going to read all the score lines. We'll just say the score line and then talk a little bit about the game. It opened on Thursday with Everton traveling to Crystal Palace. Everton, interesting, is never, I think it's 13 straight. The last time they won in London in the FA Cup was in 1995 when they won the FA Cup at Wembley.
Nice. That's more like 18 years, but yeah.
But 13 attempts is what I'm saying.
Yeah, okay.
But really, the game didn't have much in it. What it all comes down to,
I mean, Everton had the chances.
They
couldn't put them
absolutely
away.
did. They absolutely did. But what it really comes down to, it's Chris Kavanagh and the red card to Dominic Calvert-Lewin that was not even a foul on the pitch.
I don't know. I'm surprised.
Standing, like what, 5-10 yards away?
Yeah, he was
if
standing right there looking
I
at
don't know how
it.
you can go from not calling a foul to it being a red card.
Mhm.
It's ridiculous.
Well, so what I will say is the law doesn't even require you to have made contact,
Right.
which is also quite stupid in my opinion. But so if you took what it is it's to cover people. Like if I threw a punch at you,
Right.
and I didn't connect, they can still send me off.
Well, but ultimately, it's supposed to be
should be-
violent conduct. Please tell me what in that foul that wasn't even called a foul was violent.
Well, I'm surprised nobody brought him a phone while he was looking at the screen so he could call Scotland Yard to get armed police down there, because it was attempted murder, in my opinion.
Yeah, I hear you. I appreciate you trying to get my goat, but even you can look at that and just go, no.
No, I've done far worse than that and only gotten yellows.
Yeah. It just, and what was even funnier is when Kavanaugh went to the screen, you know what's going to happen, right? The minute they say they're going to the screen, because we have yet to see this happen once, where they go to the screen and go, nah, call on the field stands. They change it every time.
Yep.
Every single time.
So what I will say,
Calvert-Lewin was just looking at him and just had like this face of like,
seriously? Yeah.
And then on top of that, he gets
And
a
just walked away.
Match banned. That's like the punishment does not fit the crime.
I think they're going to probably appeal it and it'll be reduced.
We have appealed, but we haven't heard anything.
You won't hear anything for a day or two. It's not a working day. It was the weekend.
Well,
at the
what
time.
what will ultimately happen is that they will go ahead, look at it, deduct us another 10 points and give those to the city.
Here we go.
That is what will ultimately
you know
happen.
This is the world's tiniest violin.
Okay, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go ahead and be conspiracy theorist. Chris Kavanagh was the VAR official in the Manchester City game where Rodri put up the arm and it hit the sleeve and they didn't call it a handball that ultimately won City the title instead of Liverpool. So mixed emotions about that one. But he was the VAR official and they didn't even look at it. They didn't even look at that handball. He was the official on the pitch when Gylfi Sigurdsson was called for
laying on the ground
and blocking De Gea's view as a ball waist high went right.
And De Gea 6'3". Yeah,
like that. He was the referee on the pitch when Hugo Lloris had grabbed Richarlison's ankle and pulled him down, and they didn't call the penalty because he barely touched the ball with his fingertip at the same time that he grabbed his ankle. He's also off you pop to fucking Carlo Ancelotti.
Yeah.
For
Oh, that him?
all of those
wow.
were him. All of them
I know
were
that
him.
smacks of Mike Dean, but I don't think it was Mike Dean. I think he's right.
But if you constantly look at that, because each one of those games are different teams they're playing, so it's not like he's favoring the other team because they're they're Liverpool or their City. It was different circumstances every single one.
Uh-huh.
And you look at that and you're just like, man, that's a lot of fucking coincidences, man. That's a lot of fucking coincidences.
Follow the money.
Mm-hmm. Always follow the money.
Who's paid off his debts? Who's giving him trips? Who's taking him on rich vacations? Oh, wait. that's
Sky
just
Bet,
Clarence
probably.
Thomas.
Jesus Christ.
Keeping it rolling. They replay
Quickly.
They
Jesus
replay on the
God.
17th back at
We're going to
Goodison.
get banned on YouTube again.
Yeah, no shit. Allegedly. Saturday.
But not really. Saturday.
Tottenham 1, Burnley 0. Really, Pedro Porro, the fucking goal of the FA Cup until Sunday
To
happened.
that point, yeah.
Until
Thank
Sunday.
you. I was about to.
It was a
throw
fucking
down.
banger.
What I will say is this one was on purpose.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. It was Bamford. That's fair.
Not that. Honestly, it was a pretty shit game all around.
Oh, yeah.
Until that goal went in, and then nothing else happened after that. It was that was worth the price of a ticket, I'm sure, though.
Speaking of another shit game, Fulham beat Rotherham 1-0.
Basement club in the championship, and Fulham couldn't do more than that. Good strike by Bobby De Cordova-Reid, but that was all.
Brentford and Wolves had a 1-1 draw. They replay over the weekend because they're two of the teams that have the weekend off.
Right.
So they're now playing on Sunday.
So
in their
fuck
FA
your
Cup.
winter break.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
You
doing
have-
a replay.
You have a replay.
So Brentford, 80 minutes up a man can only manage a goal.
Yeah.
They need Ivan Toney back in the worst way.
What is it, the 16th? He comes back or something? 24th, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. I like Sam's thought. I don't think they sell him. I think they need him too badly.
Yeah, and the other piece of information there is that we can't afford $100 million right now.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, we have some financial fair play stuff. That's why David Raya was a loan first with the option to buy in the summer.
Ooh, so you got to watch your finances, huh?
Yep.
What are you gonna try to buy one get one in the off season?
Could be, maybe a little Brentford BOGO.
Aston Villa beat Middlesbrough 1-0. Late heroics from Matty Cash, like literally at the fucking death. A redirected shot, but it was definitely they gave the goal to Cash because
It was on target to begin with. I'm very happy to see Michael Carrick's sad little face. Former United player, fuck him.
And they're about to get dropped out of another cup, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Although I think I like Michael Carrick better than Chelsea, which pains me to say.
Yes, producer Mel.
Oh, I had nothing. I want to hear Villa. I'm here on the ready.
Go ahead.
Oh no, that was it. People in the Brian Greg Sideburns says it's not a conspiracy, just shitty roughing. Just saying.
Yeah,
By the same person over and over and over again.
Yeah,
to the
pretty
same
much.
club over and over and over again.
Chris Kavanagh does suck.
No, he's
one of
terrible.
the
He's
worst.
a
Yeah.
piece of shit.
But I mean,
Most refs are pieces of shit. Be honest, we were all players. Fuck them.
I'll even play. I'll even
I
play
wasn't
a
great.
little.
I ref.
There's no new year, new me. It's new year, double the fuck down. Fuck referees. Fucking bastards.
We definitely need to get Kerry Brown on here.
Let's face it. Paul
Especially
Tierney.
him.
Paul Tierney has called some pretty controversial shit matches against Liverpool, and
Yeah, Stuart Atwell with us.
yeah, there's certain refs that just don't. It always seems to be the controversial calls always happen to your team with that fucking ref.
Shit ref show title.
Heard, I'm okay with that. Shit ref. That's politically correct.
Maybe
enough,
crap
and
refs to get
shit
around
refs.
the foul language.
They just throw an
Chelsea
asterisk in it.
Chelsea get a big score line over Preston North End, beating them 4-0.
Yeah, it took a while though to really get going for Chelsea and find that second and third gear, but they did. Raheem Sterling with a peach of a free kick in that game. But other than that, I mean, Preston threatened maybe 2 times all day.
Yeah.
Chelsea were frustrated for a bit here and there. But like I said, once they finally found that second and third gear, it was tough to stop them.
And Preston's been in and around it for the playoffs for the championship so far. So they're
Yeah,
not
but you
looking-
could also tell the
They're on a
teams.
massive downslide. Other than playing Leeds on Boxing Day, of course they beat us.
So I'm going to actually compare this real quick to Newcastle in the sense that you could tell what it meant to the two clubs that have had rough patches prior to this weekend, right? And the strength of lineup they put out against lower opposition, right? Now, obviously, Newcastle, it was the derby. You want to make sure you win that game. That makes total sense. No problem there.
right, of course.
But if you just look at it, take the derby aspect out of it. Miguel Almiron, their strongest 11 that was available played for Newcastle.
Oh, absolutely.
That's also all they have available.
Well, true. Just about the same thing here at Chelsea. And I heard somebody say the phrase, this was a nourishing win in reference to Newcastle because of the shit they've been through over the last month with a paper-thin squad and everything else. And then you look at Chelsea and just the results. They can't have a paper-thin squad because they have the squad the shape of a dictionary.
Yeah.
But it's a nourishing win in the sense that, you know, they had a comprehensive 4-0 like fuck you game,
Right.
which they should be capable of, but for some reason in the Premier League just aren't.
Yeah, they finally had one.
Right.
They finally had
So
one.
what I would say is even those against Preston North End is this is the type of thing that just gets you a little bit of confidence.
Yeah, get you going.
Nice to see Broya get a goal coming back off his ACL tear.
Yeah.
And hopefully Chelsea will pay way too much money for some shit striker and he'll go somewhere and be fine. So that's what I'm hoping for.
You're hoping for him to go on loan to Leeds.
We're looking good at striker right now. We've got to revitalize Patrick Bamford.
One fucking strike and suddenly he's back.
Yeah, till his fucking headmistress at his private school turns up.
Brighton 4, Stoke 2. Stoke go up early, but then Brighton just say,
In my way downtown, walking fast. I'm a seagull. Go fuck yourself.
It's like, we're Premier League. Get fucked.
Did you guys see the fourth goal?
oh yeah,
I did.
Ben Hecky is he a striker or a center back? I couldn't tell.
just
It was a fantastic.
cruising down the line. Yeah,
It was like, you remember the bit of commentary about Tony Adams? I think it was in the league, and actually the celebration was the famous statue that's out front of the Emirates. But the commentary, if you remember, it comes to Adams. Well, what's he doing there? That's what I thought when I saw Van Hecky streaming
You're
through.
just going in like, what the fuck is he
Like,
doing?
why did he? Oh my God. That should be Alexis McAllister. Oh, wait, he's not there anymore.
Well, they was Stoke went up, and then Brighton got a couple, and then Stoke leveled. But then after that, just Brighton just bowled right over them at the end of it all.
Yeah.
The problem was, as you said at the bar, it wasn't a Tuesday night in Stoke. It was a Saturday in Stoke.
It was
So
kind of
just-
sunny on Saturday as
yeah,
well.
yeah, it was just,
It wasn't a cold, rainy night in Stoke, was it?
Exactly.
It was a balmy Saturday afternoon.
The Blades 4, Sam's personal favorite team, Gillingham. Don't
Fuck
call
the
me
Gills.
Gillingham. 4-0. Blades get 2 braces off of
McAtee's
Usola
goals were excellent.
and McAtee.
McAtee's
McAtee
goals
even did a
were
little
excellent.
backflip
Yeah,
and everything.
I love it.
Feel a little cheeky.
I love everything about it because that's I think that's a relative. No, Gillingham's down in Kent, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
They're down in Kent. They're not. They're not near.
No, they're
Yorkshire.
nowhere near them.
No. All right.
And it means fuck all because the Blades are just
Nobody cares.
miserable
Yeah. Nobody
in
gave a
the
fuck.
Prem.
Shit,
You know,
Yorkshire
This
club.
is their best performance for 3 seasons. Nobody gives a shit about it.
You know what? What could happen for Sheffield, depending on the draws that they get moving the rest of the way. If they get the right draws, maybe they can find themselves in the semis. You know, if they get the right draws, kind of thing.
Yeah, but they'll fuck that off.
Yeah. Bournemouth 3, QPR 2. Cherries storm back after going down 2-0 to QPR, and QPR is down at the bottom right now of the championship,
Nope.
having a hard old time. And when you talk about, you know, a good cup win, there's also bad cup losses. And for a team that's already just struggling and having a hard time getting going, and we'll talk about one of the other teams down there that got a really nice win later on. This is the kind of shit that just starts to spread like a cancer.
Yeah.
To lose one like this in your building, you had them.
Yeah, but you got to think Bournemouth are the form team in the Premier League besides Liverpool.
Of course,
So,
but you had them 2-0.
well,
Put it away.
that's true as well. Yeah.
Put it away.
Yeah.
Like that's, you know what to do.
Shut
in
up
the cup.
shop. Stop playing so expansive.
Right. And it just ends up ultimately just biting him in the ass, which was a shame.
So we're talking about shit refs. I looked this up. Rebecca Welch was in charge of this match, and I did a quick Google search, and I saw a Twitter result popped up that said she's the best ref some guy on Twitter had seen all year. So somebody at least can show up and referee a match.
Yeah. I don't tell Joey Barton that. He'll fucking
Please,
lose his
hold on.
goddamn mind.
Please tell me it wasn't in a sexual contest.
No,
context.
like it's best referee I'd seen.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. It wasn't like, because of her tits.
No, it wasn't.
Thank God.
Yeah.
Good.
Bolton figure out what nobody else can. They go to Kenilworth Road and get a point and get the replay.
And get a 0-0 score
Yeah, a
line, because
0-0
there's always
scoreline.
goals at Kenilworth Road these days.
And they get the
the
replay
only
at the
highlight-
Reebok.
The only highlight of this game
Mhm.
was Luton hit the post. And then ESPN moved on.
Yeah, there really wasn't much to
So
it.
couldn't be shit to talk about in this one, I guess.
Graham, you watched a lot of this one. Chat a little bit. I got the score wrong, I know, but we're gonna. They don't know that, so I can just keep talking.
Nah, fuck it. Mel's got to keep it in now.
He's pulling a. Geck over here is pulling a fucking Graham, as I like to call it.
I only pointed. I didn't say anything.
West Ham and Bristol City drew 1-1.
Oh, yeah, they did, but you wrote 1-0.
Yeah, thanks. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Fucking pricks.
So there's a section of West Ham fans, right, that don't really need an excuse or need a real reason to be pissed off at David Moyes at the moment. Yeah, because they just hate the fucking football. They hate the way they play. And after going up relatively early, to not stand on their throat and put the game away so they could sub some of these players off and, kind of cruise.
And now have to play another fucking game.
Now we have to add another game to an increasingly busy schedule. Yeah. As, we're getting into when Europe's going to be coming back into season here shortly. All those sorts of things. To allow Bristol City, to come back into this and score that late goal and get the replay is just pretty stupid, to be honest.
A lot of that second half, even before the goal, was all Bristol City. Which you expect with West Ham. That's like they put like you said, you got to fucking put a foot on the throat.
But you're the Premier League side. You should be pressing that issue, getting 3-0 up, and then sitting back.
Right. Yeah.
I will say, Bristol City, I think, had the best limbs of the weekend. Those away fans went insane when they equalized, which is part of the magic of the cup.
Is anybody dressed like a banana?
I did not see a banana.
Well,
but that wasn't limbs. He ran on the field. That's different.
Well, that's true. Okay, he got himself involved. You're right. He wasn't on the outskirts. For those not in show business, that's what limbs mean. Okay.
City absolutely destroys Huddersfield Town. The key thing, we already talked about Kevin De Bruyne being on the bench earlier last weekend, but De Bruyne on the bench and Jeremy Doku also on the bench. It's like, they're getting fucking stronger.
Yeah, it sucks. And De Bruyne has only played 3 games this season before today. When he got hurt. He still, for the calendar year of 2023, finished with the most assists in Europe.
Jesus.
Unbelievable.
And Foden,
and it took him
another fucking brace for Foden.
17 minutes for him to come in and get an assist.
Yeah, exactly.
17 minutes in this game. And it's just like, you just look at it and you go, well, here we go again. They're about to be fucking ruthless. Because
it's hard, yeah.
You still got Holland coming back as well. And so, like, for the Premier League, it just doesn't shape up well. For Arsenal specifically, it just doesn't shape up very well for the second half of the season.
I'm looking at my watch. It's about time Man City win about 15 in a row.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, and
fucking annoying.
And you look at it, and it's going to be like Bernardo Silva and Jack Grealish aren't going to get playing time. And the two of them have had really good seasons this season.
Well, Jack Grealish didn't start well because he was still drunk from
but
Tenerife or wherever he was following the Champions League final for 2 months.
With Doku coming back, with De Bruyne coming back, Foden is an absolute fire right now.
I feel like he was in Ibiza at Wayne Lineker's bar for ages.
Alvarez, when you get Holland back, they're going to figure out a way to get Alvarez in the lineup. He's scoring goals. He's doing the job.
They've been playing together. He's dropped into midfield a few times.
Yeah, so
and what a deft little touch that was. That is literally the only place he could put it, and no one could get to it, especially with the speed the ball was moving at. Alvarez's goal, absolutely fantastic. I don't know if you saw it, just got a stud to it. But it was absolutely pinpoint accurately placed where nobody could fucking figure out what to do.
Forest 2, Blackpool 2. If you don't know from last year, Blackpool beat the fucking shit out of Forest 4-1 in their building last year in the FA Cup.
And they were 2-0 up in this game.
Yeah, they were.
And Forest had to claw their way back. And it was a pretty good effort on Forest's part, to be honest. But
one of the goals, an ex-Forest player.
And he apologized.
Yeah.
So I heard this today, too. It was a friend of the person I was listening to that had the quote, and obviously the show I was listening to, they brought it to the table. It said that he's been a Forest fan his whole life. Never heard of this dude. Apparently, he only made 5 appearances. Like, spent a little time with their academy, made 5 first-team appearances, probably in some obscure, preliminary round of the FA Cup or League Cup or something like that. And he was like, I don't remember this person at all, this player. And, doing the apologizing, doing the, I'm sorry. So either the Ford, like he's a boyhood Forest fan, spent time in their academy and whatever. But I feel like I would probably give it the big licks.
Right.
If just fuck you for letting me go. I'd pull my pants down. What do you think about that?
Copper.
This is the big dick you could have had, you motherfucker.
An Adebayor.
Yeah. Doing Adebayor. Exactly right.
Liverpool 2, Arsenal 0. Mr. Graham.
Another frustrating day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what
Especially with the start.
an own goal, and then a late one right at the end because you were pushing.
We should have been 3-0 up by 25 minutes. You know, again, we couldn't finish our chances. We blitzed them to begin with, the same way we did in the league a couple of weeks ago, and we couldn't finish our fucking chances.
Yeah,
it's just really it's frustrating. It gets really frustrating.
I'm gonna start to pour here for you, so pick your poison, sir.
No, you surprised me.
Surprise you.
I'm gonna cover my eyes.
You are not allowed to have regular, my lord. He's gonna do one with you because, well, he hasn't been here since Leeds got relegated. So your choices are either the barrel or
Don't say it out loud.
Pumpkin. Which one do you want, Gek? Got it.
So it was just a very frustrating afternoon for Arsenal. Liverpool were always going to have their time in the match. I mean, that, you know, you expect that with every side. Even against City, Arsenal have, you know, 10 minutes of dominance. You know what I mean? Like that always happens. And Liverpool were more efficient with theirs. You know, it was a fucking phenomenal ball by Trent Alexander-Arnold. Kivior didn't know anything about the header, obviously, that went into his own net. And then Luis Diaz just fucking Hulk smashed one in the top corner.
All right, Mr. Graham, you can open your eyes again.
As a small club, when you got chances, you got to put them away when you're playing the bigger sides.
Did Championship Gecko fucking say this to me right now?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
Haven't been in the Premier League for 21 years or whatever it was until
Just
last
1 year.
Till 2 seasons, and then,
I blocked that out of my mind.
Okay.
Hold on,
I didn't.
Allow me to go ahead and play this.
Hello, this is David Geckel from Baltimore, Maryland, and I'm a Leeds United fan. And we're back, bitches, and we're never fucking leaving.
Until you
and
did.
you're listening to the DU Football Show.
I meant the Football League proper, obviously.
Fucking hell.
Because remember, when it all fell apart the first time for him, they almost went all the way out.
So I found this out the other day, which I didn't know. So Arsenal obviously hold the record for not being relegated in Europe, and actually now in, I believe, world football now, for consecutive years in the top flight. Because at the end of the Clausura, Santos got relegated. Pele's old club got relegated from the Brazilian top flight.
Brazilian top flight was insane this year. We don't have enough time.
Their fans took it well. Lit 2 buses on fire and a police car outside the stadium and basically rioted all the way home.
Or as we locally like to call that, pulling a terrapin.
Yeah.
Because we at College Park, we're fucking classy like that. We burn couches in the street, bitches.
Spartans too, baby. Spartans too.
But only when we win.
Yeah.
Only when we win. There is some questions from our new listeners in the chat.
Absolutely.
Please.
Wondering about the Malort.
Oh, okay.
Pumpkin kind of smells nice.
Okay, so
So it's pumpkin.
for
that's what
those of
mine
you
is.
who do not know, we'll pull out the original here. This is Jeppson's Malort liqueur. It is a Polish bitter made in Chicago. This is the challenge shot of all challenge shots. When you ask what is a challenge shot, think Jägermeister, right? Like what is the Four Wise Men, that kind of thing, right? That's the
Four Horsemen.
The Four Horsemen. That's the big
Of the apocalypse. And it is. I puke every time I have that.
So the
the Three
idea
Wise
is it's something
No, it's, we'll get to it in a second.
Jack,
Finish this.
Jim, Johnny, Jose.
Yeah.
So it's the 4. Malort is widely regarded as the worst tasting alcohol in the world.
Yes.
Voted
3 out of the last 4 years or so.
I like to refer to Malort. My description of it is if earwax threw up.
Yep.
Because it tastes like earwax, and most people will take a shot of it and they'll be like, "Oh, it isn't that bad." And our first reaction from all of us is we just look at you and go,
Wait for it.
Wait. Because after you throw
comes up.
after you throw back the shot, you get that big earwaxy thing, and then within about 30 seconds, your entire throat fills with the taste of bile, like you have thrown up, and it stays with you for a good 10 minutes.
You don't get used to it. You can't build up a tolerance to it. It's just there. And if you do, well, we've got curveballs.
So
and we've got varieties of the Lord.
We all agreed early on that, and this was actually HR, Russ's idea, that every time our team lost, a good godly man, a good Christian man decided this would be great.
Damn it, Ross.
The moral barometer of our universe is the one who went, yeah, every time your team loses, do Malort. It'll make me giggle when I listen to your show.
You know what? Now I'm starting to put everything together here. Speaking of conspiracy theories, Russ does the sound for his church, so he's able to record Jesus, but forgot to record us that night. Wow.
So, as Mel mentioned, because we're gluttons for punishment, there is the original Malort, and then I, on a whim, spent entirely way too much money, $150 on
something went to charity. It's
a distillery only release for the Jepson's company. They do seasonal ones. This is the pumpkin spice Malort, because who doesn't want earwax? Like, if earwax threw up, that tasted like pumpkin spice.
And for those of you wondering how we got a distillery only release when the distillery's in Chicago, you should never underestimate Sam and my's ability to get what we want.
If we want it, we will get it. And then this one is the barrel-aged Malort. And the barrel-aged Malort
actually got released here, and I just got it from Mount Airy.
Right, because his store just immediately took a bottle and put it aside and went, Graham will want this.
They took an entire case, and then I walked in, and that was on the special order shelf with my name on it.
Because
they were like, "Hey, you want that, don't you?" And I was like, "Sure do."
Yep. So
yes, please.
It's nice to have friends.
So, boys, why don't you go ahead? Every time you lose, Gecko's doing it simply because his team got relegated and hasn't been here since.
To the Magpies, the Mobtown Magpies. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, it is in a Newcastle shot glass.
Yeah, they're not a dumpster fire anymore. We might have to rethink these.
Okay, well, we'll get something new.
It starts out like a drink that you would want, and then it's Malort.
Yeah. Pumpkin. Yeah, the pumpkin spice.
Yeah.
I gave you the barrel aged, Sam.
Now, I remember the first time you had the barrel aged, Sam, you said it was better.
It was.
It's a relative comparison.
But better is relative. Exactly right.
Which also inspired a new Patreon listener, Jared Hicks, to go out and buy a bottle of the barrel-aged Malort and do a shot on our closed group. And, Sam, should somebody want to check out our Patreon, how do they go about doing that?
It's really easy, actually. Patreon.com/The Football Show. Just sign up to that $5 tier.
Yeah, very good.
And you can get all of our extra content. There's the bile. Right there.
I wanted to throw the is it barrel aged bile?
Yeah, it's vanilla bile. Yes.
Okay. I wanted to throw it to you in that moment to see how good of a professional you were, you know.
I got it done, didn't I?
Yeah. And closing it out, Manchester United 2, Wigan nothing. Wow, United didn't fuck it off.
Yeah.
Sure money.
Nope, still have one more segment.
Well, I don't have a printout, so I wouldn't know.
You told me you didn't need one.
No, I said I didn't need one for the EFL show or injury time.
I specifically asked about this one, and you said no.
All right, can we do this off air and just do the right thing?
Yeah,
push the right button. Fucking asshole. For once, I try to use my pimp hand and get fucked off. Come on.
Not like I do this every week. Rounding out the rest of the notable third round matches in so that happened. Sheffield Wednesday beat Swansea beat I had a couple of I thought I had I thought it was opening with Sheffield.
You did a couple of very weird abbreviations here.
Actually, well, no, I removed.
I don't even see Sheffield on here.
Yeah, I had removed Sheffield Wednesday, but they won 4-0, and that was one that was
keeper saved 2 penalties.
Yes.
Well, yeah. So the interesting fact about that game, since we brought it up, even though it's not on the sheet,
it was supposed to be on the sheet. I don't know why I removed it.
Cardiff had 22 fucking shots, 2 pens, lost 4-0.
Championship football.
Well, and there's the difference when we were talking about teams. Like, that's a team that's also in the relegation zone. Yeah. That's the kind of game that might catapult you, where the QPR loss might be the one that tanks you.
Right.
Sheffield's got a new manager. They've gone from shitty to like mediocre.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like golf. Like the old Lewis Black joke about golf. It's the only sport you start off and you're worse than shitty at.
Right.
And then you spend 10 years and $10,000 to get shitty.
Just to be shitty. Here's where I was actually supposed to start with was Swansea City beating Dicks Out for Morecambe. We know it's Morecambe, but we'd like to say Morecambe.
Yeah, because of Harambe, if you're familiar.
Shrimps out for Morecambe.
It's the funniest thing to me. Like, anytime someone says Dicks Out, it's just like, why? That's not a salute. It's not a show of respect. But it's just so funny. It's just like, oh man, there he goes. Like the hearse is passing by, and you just pull your cock out.
So Swans,
fucking, my man. Like you put a little salute on the head too. Like I just, that's weird, man.
Like break off a little GI Joe arm and like tape it to your dick going. Like,
it's just so fucking funny to me. Dicks out for whatever. I'd love that.
Swans win under new head coach Luke Williams. What is important to note about Luke Williams is former Swans player.
He won Eurovision.
He was the manager of Notts County that this past season in the National League, them and Wrexham ended up both with over 100 points and ended up taking penalties over Chesterfield for Notts County to ultimately advance back into League Two. And in League Two, they're in the top 10. They were doing well. So it was kind of a big pull for them to get Luke Williams to come over to Swans in only 2 days and come out, get a nice little win, which was good to see. Watford 2, Chesterfield 1. Chesterfield had a 1-0 lead. They held on till the 76th minute, and then Watford just took over and eventually won.
They had a couple of chances for a second and didn't get it. And for real, your small team playing away, you don't get that second goal. You'll just, the winner for Watford was class.
Yeah.
Deli Bashiru had a nice fake, top of the box, just coolly slotted it away in the 90th plus 5th. Tough way to go out for the non-league side.
Yep. Blackburn 5, Cambridge 2. Cambridge went up twice, and then just Blackburn just rolled.
Yeah, they did. And they actually respect rules and laws in Blackburn. Sponsored by a vape company. They had a 15-year-old come on, not old enough to vape. Doesn't even have a sponsor on his kit.
Yeah, I know.
Fucking brilliant. Well done.
Go figure.
Yeah. Unlike Wigan,
only
who just has their 10-year-olds vaping in the crowd. Blackburn subbed on a 10-year-old. Nah, son, you can't wear that. Let's get you a replica kit from the shop.
Only in the championship.
It's fucking
only
brilliant.
In the championship.
Unfortunate for Cambridge, though. I mean, they really did give it their all, but Blackburn just had too much for him.
Yeah.
Sammy Smotic with a hat trick in the first half. I believe the only hat trick of the third cup.
I think third round. Yeah, I think that's right.
Plymouth Argyle 3.
Also, I'm sorry, Sam. Somebody named Sigurdsson had a couple of assists in that as well, and then scored a goal. And I was like, no fucking way they let him out of prison.
Different Sigurdsson.
Sigurdsson.
Plymouth 3, Sutton 1. Argyle take care of the 4 tiers, the worst team in all of professional football, Sutton.
Yep. Well, that's what you get.
And the rewards, a trip to Ellen Road.
Yep.
Somehow, a home tie for Leeds.
Newport County 1, Eastleigh 1. Here's the interesting one. Newport has the lead, goes up 1-0. Eastleigh go down to 10 men.
Yep.
Fight to stay alive, get a penalty at the fucking death.
It was excellent.
To have the replay back at their building.
Yeah, that's not as big of a coup as you think it is. Because remember when City went to Newport County and they played on that potato patch that hosted the monster truck rally the night before.
Right.
Only won 3-0, and it took them till the 65th minute to score. So they're going to be used to playing on potato patches, and Eastleigh can't do anything about that.
I just remember the very next year when West Ham went there, and it was pouring down rain, and it was like West Ham's wearing the all black, like sharp as fucking hell kits.
Yeah.
Pouring down rain, someone shoots off fireworks in like the first 10 minutes of the match, and by the end of the match West Ham is dribbling down a sideline and it's just standing water, and you can just see the ball stop rolling as if like literally 3 inches of water.
They just start floating.
It just too fucking funny.
You know what wouldn't have happened? Ben K was there. It wouldn't have happened.
It would definitely would not have happened.
You know what happens on Ben K's watch?
What?
10-year-olds vape. Wonder how early Ben's kids got their vapes. I think they got them for Christmas this year. He's a Wigan lad.
Well, next time we have him on the show, we are definitely going to have to ask him that one. Leicester 3, Millwall 2. Foxes are just cruising, man. They're just cruising.
I mean, they were well up in this game as well. Millwall did all right to fight back. Fight back being the operative word, because that's what Millwall does. But Leicester was just too much for them. I mean, they're honestly the cream of the crop in the championship, and this is just essentially for them an extension of the championship in this game, and they did exactly what they were supposed to do.
And they even rotated a bunch of their guys, and
who Leicester have?
Yeah, and then pretty easy work at Millwall.
Let's go ahead and talk about your team, Mr. Geckel. Leeds win 3-0 over Peterborough, and Peterborough has been on a tear. The Posh have been playing really well, and Ampadu wearing the captain's armband for you guys now.
Wearing the captain's armband, and other than Patrick Bamford pulling the weight with the goals department, he tripled his tally from 1 to 3.
Yeah, exactly, with the brace.
Career.
Why'd you go all Flushing Queens there? The captain's armband.
I don't know. I just was thinking about Bamford's goal, and I just got a little.
Got a little excited there.
Klimt.
But
disgust.
Yeah. Leeds have had some terrible luck. Well, terrible performances in the third round against lower opposition, and really Peterborough matches up well with, I think, anyone in the lower reaches of the championship. They've struggled away this year. They dominated the first 10 minutes of the match. Then Peterborough started getting back into it. And then they scored in the 35th minute. It was kind of a weird set piece where Peterborough kind of froze for some reason. And Ampadu just pounced on a terrible Bamford touch, but he was right there for the finish to go up 1-0. And then, so at halftime, I'm thinking, all right, got the goal. So just got to come out, step on their throat early. And I think it's the 47th minute.
Jesus.
I see a long ball up to Bamford. He chests it, and he turns and nails an amazing volley.
From what, about 25 yards out easily?
It goes in the net, and it takes me
28.
like 10 seconds to go, oh shit, that went in. Oh shit, that was Bamford. Oh shit, that was the greatest goal I've ever seen in my life. Oh shit. Breaking news. It's not the Puskas anymore. It's called the Bamford.
So I'm glad you said that. So there's two things here. First, he did very well to recover from a super poor first touch. Because I'm going to tell you this, he ain't mean to do that. He meant to strike the ball the way he did, yes. But that first touch was not meant to do what it did. And he reacted to it very well. It reminded me of the very blatantly obvious on-purpose Thierry Henry goal against Manchester United, where he had his defender on his left shoulder, flicked the ball up with his right foot, turned and smacked it past Fabian Barthez years ago. Yeah.
Of course, you got to bring it back to Arsenal.
Into the far corner. And
always about a pro-Arsenal agenda.
That was fucking on purpose, so it should be known as the Henry. But I also saw a meme.
Peach of a goal.
It was. It was a good goal, don't get me wrong, but that first touch, he fucked up.
What else is he supposed to do? He took it on his chest.
Take it down, which is what he was trying to do, but it popped up over his head.
He gave him
it was
enough,
a terrible touch.
He had to jump to chest it. It gave him enough time to turn and shoot.
That is not his plan going into that, I promise you.
It is Bamford, so you probably are right, but
it's the goal of the cup.
Oh, it was an excellent goal. I'm not saying
incredible.
that. I'm just saying that Thierry Henry's was better because he meant it. That's all I'm saying. Every piece of action in Thierry Henry's goal years ago was on purpose.
He wasn't in a title game, was it?
No. Although I do believe we won the title that season that it happened. Anyway, because we did beat Manchester United that day 2-1. I think that was the winner, actually. Anyway, besides the point. Pushkas part of this. I saw a story today in my kind of weird football groups I'm in that George Best, Dennis Law, and Ferenc Puskás were in Australia coaching a clinic, and Puskás
we're in the
was
same group. I saw this too.
You saw this also, and Puskás was older, bit fat now, right? And George Best is there, Dennis Law is there, and all the kids were making fun of Puskás because he's older and fatter and all this kind of stuff. And the other two players obviously took exception to this, and they decided to challenge the kids to a crossbar challenge, but they got to pick the coach that they went against, and almost everybody picked Puskás. We want to go against Puskás because he's old and fat. And they didn't really know who he was, obviously. Being older and Hungarian was kind of unfashionable, you know, what have you. I think he's Hungarian. Is that right?
Yes, yeah.
And I couldn't remember if it was Romanian or not for whatever reason. Brain fart.
He was part of those really good Hungarian teams in like the 60s.
That almost won the World Cup.
Yeah.
That were excellent. So is Hristo Stoichkov. He featured as a teenager in those.
He was Bulgarian.
I'm just making fun of his age.
Okay.
And random Eastern European, very technical players. So they all pick Puskás because he's old and fat. And they do the crossbar challenge. And they were like, how many do you think he's going to get? Dennis Law and George Best are asking the kids, how many do you think he's going to hit the crossbar? And he said, 3, maybe 4 at the most. And they were like, what do you think? And George Best was like, 10 out of 10. And he's stepped up, smashed 9 across the against the crossbar. And the 10th one said that he juggled up, hit it with both shoulders, turned, and backheeled it, and it crashed off the crossbar. And one of the kids turns to George Best and goes, who is this man? And he goes, to you, he's Mr. Puskás.
Mr. Bamford. If you're
Mr. Accidental.
Fucking brilliant. We're going to skip one because I feel like that's the better one to end on. West Brom knocked out Aldershot Town. The shots go out, so that's only leaves one non-league side.
One quick thing about West Brom.
Yeah, yes.
So Daryl DK, American striker, 9 months out, scores. And this is West Brom winning isn't magical, but somebody has a chance to come back and regain some form.
Yeah, it's always good.
Patrick Bamford.
He's been out since the last time they were in the Premier League.
So the Stone is the only non-league side still in the cup.
Yes.
And the final one we'll talk about here.
Wait, who? Hold on. What'd you say?
The only non-league side still left in the cup. Well, Eastleigh has a replay. Maidstone. But Aldershot is out and Chesterfield is out. That's what I was saying. That they are. That I was saying Maidstone was the only team left.
Yeah. Correct. Okay.
Eastleigh could still be in the cup, but they have to play a replay.
You know what's sad? There's just no more shot. So just beer for the rest of the FA Cup now.
Heard. And then finally, an interesting one. We were talking about this.
Was it low-hanging fruit, Mel? Is that why you're disappointed in
We
me?
were talking about this on Injury Time, Sam, which was Wrexham versus Shrewsbury Town, and we didn't think much into it. Come to find out, it's actually a cross-border rivalry. The two towns sit
not far apart,
right on the England side and the Wales side.
Yep.
And apparently a long-time rivalry that we did not know about.
Yeah, it's actually, just about as far as that husband and wife. One was Jewish, one was Catholic in the neighboring cemeteries that had the headstones built to have hands holding across the wall.
Aww.
Did you ever see that picture?
No, I have not.
Yeah, it was a very famous photo of I think it was a Jewish woman and a Catholic man, and the cemeteries bordered each other, and they had a wall built between them, because that's the best way to keep the spirits out, David. And let's just build that wall up, right? And they had headstones built higher than the wall, and on top of the bell tower portion of the headstones, they had hands reaching out and holding above the wall, so they were holding hands eternally.
Love it.
That's beautiful.
The interesting
But
thing about this,
they're closer than that.
I would. Here's the interesting thing is
It's a long way to get there, wasn't it?
Everybody was expecting for Wrexham to kind of impressively win, and this was all Shrewsbury Town. They really owned a lot of this match, especially in the first half. They should have been up.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. But Wrexham did have a fair few chances.
No.
I think Paul Mullin should have been sent off.
No, don't disagree. Don't disagree.
I forgot. I watched some of the highlights, but I don't remember what he did.
I forgot.
Yeah. I didn't mark it down in my brain.
Thanks for coming.
Maybe
Appreciate you being here.
I'm just a Hollywood apologist.
Hey, Mel, how about we hit the right button this time?
Sure money.
Fucking brilliant. Gek, what do you think? I don't know.
I watched
Fantastic.
that, yeah.
I think we updated everybody on what we did last time, right? Because I don't remember what it was. So
Exactly.
Sam, what do you have coming up for this abbreviated week?
Well, your Gunners had fucked me, and that puts me down $239.
Big Sam's Lock of the Week.
Nobody will know, but third time's always a charm. Gecko, did you know that 21.052632% of the time works 100% of the time? All right, I am going to take a 2-game parlay of road favorites. Give me Spurs and City to beat United and Newcastle for plus 371.
Okay. Interesting.
Yep.
Did he email us?
Got nothing from him. I texted him. No answer. Nada.
Probably
take over for Pat.
Probably black. You know what? Yes. You know what, Mr. Gecko?
Michigan won.
Ah, fuck.
Oh, I wonder.
Fucking cunts.
Hold on, I gotta see if my bet hit.
Spoiler alert.
Well, since Graham's more focused on seeing if his bet hit or not, as opposed to running his segment that he wanted so badly.
Now tell us
Gecko,
whatever you want to tell us about your...
what bet are you going to make for us this week?
So I looked at this yesterday, so the odds may have changed. So Brody, don't call me out. But I've got a trio of championship favorites, and most of the reason I'm doing this is to help Leeds because I never win bets. But I've got...
So we're holding Pat accountable for this, right?
Yeah, hold him accountable.
Perfect.
I've got Leicester, Ipswich, and Southampton to all win, and that paid out a tasty plus 488.
There we go. Okay.
All right.
So if they all lose, it helps Leeds. If one of them loses, it helps Leeds.
Exactly.
So it's the reverse psychology thing.
And helps us because Pat loses.
Yeah, very good.
Brian in the chats has to head to bed, but he says he had a great time tonight, and not every road leads to the EPL. Night, gentlemen. I like that. Leads.
I got
get
it.
it.
Nice.
Get it.
I
Did you
got
get the
it.
joke?
Yeah, I got it.
I like that he's signing off literally about 4 minutes and 15 seconds before the end of the show.
The show is practically over.
I'm the fuck out. I can't deal with it.
I don't want to hear Graham's rant.
Yeah, I don't need to hear about fucking stolen wages in Baltimore. So what I've got here for you is a 4-game parlay. It's gonna pay me a shit ton of money when I hit it. I have all this weekend, which is good. I've got Friday's game, Luton winning away at Burnley. I've got Chelsea winning at home to Fulham because I think they're going to ride that wave of the cup. City winning away to Newcastle because they've got De Bruyne back, and I think he's going to start this one. If I was a betting man, which I am. And then I have the oldest fixture in professional football to fuck you both in at a draw.
Very good.
Between Everton and Aston Villa at Goodison Park. And that 4-pick parlay pays me $3,376 on a $100 bet.
Wow.
And that is what I'm going to do. And I also, so you can see my DraftKings, have a all sport no sweat bet, $5. I might just go ahead and place that bet down.
There we
We'll
go.
be in Idaho for that match.
Yeah, we will be. We will be in Idaho for that.
I'll be in a hoe too. I mean, psych. JK.
I'm gonna tell her that.
I didn't say it was her.
I'm definitely gonna tell her that.
Slide. It's a joke. It's a joke. This is comedy. It's something.
Let's just say.
Aren't you mad you went to bed now, you twat?
Let's just say somebody's ghostwriter is pulling a Gecko because we have a chicken.
Fucking hell, man.
Well,
All going wrong for Mel.
Kitty, my voice. Kitty missed. Hold on.
Can't talk, can't hit right buttons. Just a fucking
You know
mess.
what? Can I be fired?
Best cold reader in
Can
the
I be
business.
fired?
Nope.
Please?
No, you got a lifelong contract there,
Damn
dear.
it.
Sorry.
Gonna sign you to an extension.
I want to raise
She can't produce the show as a ghost.
0 times the 3% growth carry the it's still fucking 0.
You're still getting an inch of penis.
Cost of living wage, no, still 0.
Kitty missed on Arsenal and sits at 12-6. So this week, I gave Kitty Aston Villa heading to Goodison to face Everton in the second leg of the marriage-ending derby.
Yeah, if we could only be that lucky.
Now, Kitty showed me the now famous picture of Douglas Luiz and Ashley Lehman announcing they're back together. Now, if you focus in closely, you can see Kitty in the background. She is a certified therapist. Geckle.
Yeah, comma Geckle. You know, you're supposed to tell she's a certified therapist, Geckle, because we already know she's a certified therapist from lore on the show.
Kitty does everything. I know that.
This
is pitiful. You're goddamn right.
Are we done yet? Is it midnight, motherfuckers? This, coupled with the fact that Kitty has never picked Everton because she's smart, Kitty is picking Villa to win. Please remember to gamble legally and responsibly.
Get it the fuck together, Sam.
Yeah, I was about to say, I ain't fucked that up. So you better be careful, bro.
All right.
I'm done.
That is going to wrap it up, boys and girls. Mr. Graham, any parting words?
Yeah, so for those of you that are new to the show, obviously we have some new people checking the show out on the streams, and I'm sure that are going to be listening tomorrow. Sam and I and Mel obviously kind of have a mantra, D-back. Don't be a cunt is what it stands for.
We even have a mascot.
The D-back bear.
If you look carefully on our
bear.
If you look carefully on our sticker, it's on our mug.
Correct. And basically, there are people that we find in sport and throughout life that are cunts. And the whole idea,
AKA Joey Barton,
that we figured out is if you wake up every day with the sole purpose and reasoning for your day to just try to not be a cunt, usually everything turns out okay for you. And so that became our mantra.
Yeah, just wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and go, today,
I'm not going to be a cunt.
I'm not going to be a cunt. It'll be all right.
So Geckle was nice enough to share this story with us. Apparently, I did not go searching for them, but in the comments of that story, there were the shared corroboration emails from the brewery. But if you'd like to name and shame, it's your story, bro. If you don't want to name and shame and just say a local brewery, that's perfectly fine by me. But you tell us the story you found us.
Yeah, I'm going to name and shame because you should fucking pay your employees, or at least pay them what you say you're going to pay them. So it's Mobtown Brewery, which is the closest brewery to my house. It was the closest brewery to Sam's house before he left the city of Baltimore. But they've paid back over $150,000 in lost wages to current employees, not former employees, who they fired the first person who brought it up and made up some bullshit. And so this was a Reddit post, innocent until proven guilty. But
the brewery has since admitted that they fucked up.
Right.
Basically, they were promised a $15 an hour wage, the national or the state's minimum wage now, $15 an hour, plus tips. Where tipped employees previously were only supposed to receive about $3.06 an hour, which we're both super familiar with, having come from the restaurant industry. They found out that they were using those tips to supplement the $15 an hour, and it wasn't plus the tips.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they brought them up to $15 an hour and then added tips on top of that.
Pulling an old Mario Batali.
Correct. And it was less than ideal, obviously. First employee, as Geckle said, was fired for bringing it up, and they found corroborating emails between the brewery and said employee and shared those. So it's not a new problem. It's a problem they were aware of because they did come out and say that it was an accounting error and an error on their part, and they're going to pay restitution to the employees they currently have. But apparently it's been going on since the inception, and no former employee has been paid a single penny in restitution for the wages that were stolen that the owners pocketed the money for.
So there's too much good local craft beer, so don't fucking buy Mobtown.
Which is a shame because they make
fair
good
enough. But that's fair enough. I mean, I have my my opinions about a particular whiskey brand, and it's fuck Bullet. I will never ever buy a bottle of Bullet. If you buy me a bottle of Bullet, I will pour it out in my drain.
That's even worse than this.
Yeah.
To be honest, just love your kids.
Yeah.
That's his own blood.
How about accept your daughter?
Yeah.
Like,
just love your kids.
Yeah.
Your daughter's gay. It's fine.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Just be
a dad.
Average father. Don't you have to be a good father? Just be a
dad.
meh.
Well, here's the thing.
be a meh
I've
father.
said this to you many times. People look at me and that actually know me, not what you all see on the internet here as I drink from this mug, that I am a good father. Nah, I'm just a father.
Right.
Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I don't want a fucking cookie for it.
Right.
Like, I feel kind of uncomfortable on Father's Day. Like, this is just what I'm meant to be doing.
Right.
Like, I don't, it's like, oh, you want a cookie for doing your job? Like, I mean, this is the gig. Like,
Right.
that's what you do.
Yeah.
Right. That's why we record at 10 o'clock. Because I said, fuck you, I can't be here.
Right. You gotta.
I have to take care of my kids.
Yeah.
Like, that is what it is. So just like, like the first lady of Bourbon, Miss Bullet, who is should have been the heiress to the Bullet house.
Yeah.
Was essentially disowned by her father.
Hollis.
Because she's a lesbian.
But Hollis is now married to her partner and doing great and working in consulting, and the entire industry has embraced her and kind
because
of
they should.
Thomas can fuck himself.
Isn't he also a racist on top of that as well?
Yep. There was
I didn't even know that. He is.
I think I told you about this. Diageo had then decided, because this is Diageo, a monster corporation.
Don't those things go hand in hand?
They decided to.
Well, there's evidence. I guess.
There could be questions because it was awesome. It was a first black female master blender. But this also screamed of Diageo going, we're gonna brush this under the rug and do something positive, right? And then there was just racist shit all over their bulletin boards about the master blender to the point where she quit. And that's what it's just, so it's like, just fuck Bullet. Just fuck Bullet. And also, fuck Mobtown. If you can't fucking pay your people, you know what? Monument's right around the corner from there. Go to Monument. They make great beers.
Yeah,
go
and
see them.
Monument beer. Yes.
Yeah, buy their beer.
Also, Mel, I would venture to say that most racist people have searched for lesbian porn on their phone. So they don't go hand in hand.
Yeah.
Speaking of porn, we'll tease this for injury time.
Lesbians are hot.
We have
Lesbians are super hot. Yes, they are.
I happen
100%.
to know
Yes.
what the most searched porn term was from every state in 2023, and I'll tell you about it on Injury
Did you
Time.
find that? Seriously? You had that queued up already?
Yep.
That was that. Listen,
Professional.
behind the fucking curtain. That was not part of the pre-production meeting
No, not at all.
or the pre-production meeting, which
It is part of the pre-erection meeting.
Hey, you goddamn right it is. Now it is. Bang.
Spoiler alert.
It's right before I get hard.
Texas. Creamy.
What?
Whatever their porn search is, number one term Texans search for, creamy.
It's got to be salsa in it.
Too dumb to know the
Thanks for
range.
joining us, boys and girls. Next up is going to be Injury Time, where we apparently talk about everybody's porn history search.
Hey.
Yes.
Build that wall. Break that wall. Build that. You know what I mean?
Yep.
The uterine wall, Sam.
Heard.
With my large white cock is what I'm saying.
Okay, very good. We're going to talk about the beers we're drinking, and
this
Gecko
is
brought
gonna be
a
good.
cooler full of beer for us, and we check in on the Ibs, but I can already tell you the Ibs didn't play, so... And we'll also talk a little bit... Well, we can't talk about fantasy because there was no fantasy games to be played.
Oh, there's fantasy games to be played. That's why we're replacing it with porn searches.
And
we're an hour 33 into this.
And for those of you still sticking with us live, we're going to take a brief break. We're going
Nobody's
to come
still
back and do our
Sure,
EFL
Billy
show.
is.
We're going to do our EFL show where we talk about the lower leagues. And since we got Gecko here, we're going to talk a ton about the championship. Until next week, everybody.
Hey, good night, guys. Cheers.
Good night.
Good night. I get the fucking last word.
Born in the land of Bowie, Maryland. Bred to be a fan of fucking Everton. Punch you in the eye and drink your rye. Sam Houston.
Sam Houston.
Arsenal fans have another Sam. AKA the fucking Gooner Graham. Smell the Malort. Look straight in shorts. Sam Grammy.
Sam Graham.
Brooklyn United! Brooklyn United! Hit the fucking mute button!